The Grinch was loose in Jacksonville last night.
Much needed rainfall and continued warm temperatures. That's the forecast for the weekend across East Alabama, and we'll have the complete forecast details coming up.
Coming up in sports, we give you all the scores from last night's basketball and wrestling action. We also preview tonight and the weekend ahead for local sports. EAN Local News starts now.
This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by Waldrop Manufacturing, metal buildings made right here in Calhoun County.
Hi, we're glad you could join us. I'm Katie Edwards.
And I'm Mike Stedham.
The Grinch might not steal Christmas again this year, but he already stole the show at the Jacksonville Christmas Parade Thursday night. Despite appearances by other high-profile public figures, including Dolly Parton, Santa, and Jacksonville Mayor Johnny Smith, it was the Grinch who captured the most attention of the littlest attendees at the event. Just ask 5-year-old Ava Talley, who attended the Jacksonville Parade with her family.
There's cheerleaders and there's a lot of Mr. Grinch.
The Grinch was in a rolling jail cell and escaped before being recaptured by a Calhoun County Sheriff's deputy. Clad in a cowboy hat and badge, the officer quickly detained the classic Christmas character, placing him back behind bars.
One family visited the Jacksonville Parade for the first time in more than a decade. They brought the youngest members of their family for the first time and said the Grinch was the fan favorite of the show. Here's what they had to say.
Probably the Grinch in jail. That was funny. Yes. And they liked that the most, I think.
Cheyenne Locklear, Savannah Locklear, and Brandy Dickerson came all the way from Heflin and Alexandria. They were there to see Cy and Stet McCoy's grandmother ride on a Dolly Parton float. Now that was adorned with oversized candy canes and filled with Dolly Parton impersonators. EAN captured the moment that the family identified their grandmother passing by in the crowd of wigged women. In addition to appearances by famed figures, it featured performances by the Marching Southerners, several local high school bands, and included floats crafted by politicians, local organizations, Pee Wee football teams, and some small town churches.
When we come back, more parades are being planned for next week.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today. This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by WM Grocery, located in Heflin, Wadowee, Roanoke, and in Piedmont.
Two more Calhoun County cities, Oxford and Anniston, will be holding their parades next week. Thursday at 6 o'clock marks the beginning for Oxford's parade, with police blocking off adjacent streets starting at 4. Parade floats should gather in the Martins parking lot, where volunteers will line them up. Cars, beauty queens, and motorcycles need to be in the First Baptist Church parking lot by 5 o'clock. Bands will begin gathering in the parking lot and street in front of Rice & Rice Law Firm. The street will close at 5 p.m. Because the parade will be passing through 3 different street areas, it is recommended that spectators gather on Choccolocco Street, Main Street, and Snow Street. The parade will end at Stewart Street.
The Downtown Anniston Christmas Parade will begin next Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. in front of the City Meeting Center at 17th and Noble Streets. That parade grandstand will be located at 12th and Noble Street, where there will also be bleacher seating available for the public. Several food trucks will be setting up in the parking lot behind the grandstand, and pictures with Santa will be available once the parade ends inside Classic on Noble. And when we come back, Anniston Police need your help.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by Oxford Lumber. Come visit any of our locations in Oxford, Jacksonville, Talladega, and Roanoke.
Do you know this man? If you do, the Anniston Police would like to hear from you. They're trying to track him down in reference to the theft of a vehicle that occurred on October 24th around the 800 block of South Quintard Avenue. Please call the APD at 256-238-1800 or the Investigative Division at 256-240-4000.
Well, we have a lot of Christmas parades that have happened and are coming up. It has not been parade weather today.
It was not at all. You know, John promised us some rainfall, and he lived up to his promise.
He delivered. He certainly did.
And standing by in the EAN Weather Center right now is John Holder. And the question is, John, how much more rain are we looking for over this weekend?
Mike and Katie, we expect more rain over the weekend coming to East Alabama, and it's much needed rainfall. We'll talk about the complete forecast for the weekend for all of East Alabama next.
For over 60 years, Oxford Lumber has been servicing our area, and our customer service has always been our main focus. Our customer service is what sets us apart from anyone else. From the moment you enter, our highly trained staff will treat you like family.
To enthusiastically provide total customer satisfaction within a positive and self-fulfilling employee relations environment. Visit us at any of our 4 locations or at oxfordlumber.com.
No sunshine today across East Alabama, but that did not keep the temperatures from being well above the average for this time of year. Warm, moist air coming in straight from the Gulf of Mexico, and our temperatures today rising to 66 degrees, well above the average for this date. The morning low, very warm as well, only dropping down to 50 degrees, about 12 degrees above the average. 77, your record high temperature back in 1991. The record low, 17. Look at that sunrise time. Not until 6:30 tomorrow morning, and the sunset 4:35, less than 3 weeks away now from the beginning of winter, which will also mark the shortest day of the year. Coming up on your Friday night, weather on your street, taking you out to Starla Drive in Choccolocca. The rain will return tonight. We had a break this afternoon. We have a break this evening, but it will not be until late tonight. It's going to be very warm and really quite muggy out there. Only 60 for the low tonight. We'll stay in the 60s all evening long. Again, the rainfall will be well after midnight tonight, much like last night coming up again. So if you've got Friday night plans, things should be A-OK for anything, outdoors or indoors, coming up on your Friday night on this first day of December. Coming up tomorrow, Saturday, showers, possibly even a thunderstorm. I don't think we'll see much in the way of thunderstorms tomorrow, but certainly some more much needed rainfall, particularly early in the day tomorrow. It's going to be very warm again, actually even warmer than today, 67 for the high. Merrill Drive in Heflin, get ready for some rainfall and a lot of clouds. Don't think we'll see any sunshine coming up on your Saturday. Now, next week, we're going to see more changes coming. Dry weather returns. If you've been looking to get out and do a little golfing, maybe out at Silver Lakes Golf Course on Oak Grove Road out Silver Lakes Way in northern Calhoun County, plenty of sunshine next week, beginning on Monday. Temperatures are going to begin in the 60s the first half of the week for highs. Then we'll drop down into the 50s for highs by mid to late week next week. Here's that all-important 7-day forecast. A 100% chance of rain coming tomorrow. I really think at this point in time, most of this is going to be early in the day tomorrow. 67 for the high. A small chance of showers on Sunday. Again, this will be early in the day, probably before lunchtime. So when you get out of church on Sunday, looks like we may even have a little bit of sunshine, possibly late in the day on Sunday. 40% chance of a shower. Again, 68 for the high, well above the average for this time of year. Then comes another stretch of dry weather. You see no rain in the forecast beginning Monday all the way through the end of the week next week. Dry weather coming, more seasonable temperatures closer to average, temperatures in the 60s and 50s, and then we'll drop back down into the 30s again. As a matter of fact, the cold morning looks to be next Thursday morning at about 32 degrees. Here's the forecast for the region. Coming up tomorrow, you see that 100% chance of rain all the way from Pike County to Marion County, from I-22 down all the way to U.S. Highway 431. And it's going to be warm tomorrow, 60s all across North Alabama, 70s down to the south. Would not be surprised if we see some 70-degree temperatures right here on some backyard thermometers in East Alabama on both Saturday and on Sunday. I'll be right back here tomorrow morning and Sunday morning and Monday morning with your breakfast and morning forecast. And then I'll see you right back here Monday evening for EAN Local News. More high school basketball. It's hot right now in Calhoun and Cleveland counties, and Namath-Pitts has all the details next in sports.
Thanks, John. Last night was an action-packed night as our East Alabama basketball teams hit the court. We have the scores from last night and matchups for tonight and this weekend. Let's start with Josh Wheeler, who hit 6 3-pointers en route to 19 points, and White Plains boys beat Weaver 72-43 yesterday. Other top performers for White Plains: Coleman Ray with 14 points, Daniel Williams with 8 points, Silas Hines 8 points, and Carter Johnson 8 points. Weaver's top performers: Keyshawn Allen 14 points, DJ Marbury 14 points, and Harper Williams 7 points. Colby Hester hit 4 3-pointers and scored 19 total points to lead Ohatchee boys 50-42 over Mumford for their second consecutive win. Ohatchee's other top performers: Alston Carroll 10 points and Jake Robertson 9 points. Mumford's top performers: BJ Anderson 13 points, Devin Elder 8 points, and Lathan Stevens 7 points. Ishmael Bethel hit 3 3-pointers on his way to scoring a game-high 22 points, and Piedmont beat Sandrock 70-49, improving to 2-1 on the season. Piedmont's other top performers: Colton Proctor 15 points, Jalen Brown 8 points, and Cole Wilson 8 points. Anthony Bothwell led the way for Sachs with 18 points. Sachs beat Jacksonville Christian 80-59, and Sachs' other top performers were Christian Smith with 17 points, Dorian Walker 14 points, Josh Todd 13 points, Jacoby Borden 10 points, and Christian Hall 8 points. The top performers for the Jacksonville Christian Thunder: Jesse Ganaway with 18 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, Noah Lee 17 points, 16 rebounds, 3 assists, and Travis Barnhill 15 points, 3 rebounds. A county rivalry matchup came down to the end, but Cleburne County came out on top 53-51 over Rambert. Nate Adams hit 1 of 2 free throws, and Cleburne County blocked an attempted full-court shot to clinch it. Cleburne County's top performers: Gray Freeman 21 points, Cade Schubert 10 points, and Lyric Ware 6 points. Let's move to lady action. Cassidy Arnold scored 21 points with 4 3-pointers, and Cooper Martin hit 4 3-pointers en route to 20 points for White Plains as they beat Weaver girls 58-49. The Wildcats' other top performer was Addie Bradley with 10 points, and Weaver's top performers were Aaliyah Marks with 28 points and Ariana Richmond with 9 points. Piedmont girls fell to 2-3 on the season after losing to Sandrock 69-50. The top performers for the losing Bulldogs was Morgan Studdard with 14 points, Jenna Duke with 8 points, and Ava Pope with 7 points. And the Madison Turner of the Sachs Wildcats led the Wildcats with 15 points, and the Wildcats beat Jacksonville Christian Academy Thunder 48-42. The other top performers for the Wildcats were Alana Cruz with 13 points, Sania Angel with 9 points, and Mariori English with 8 points. Sorry if I mispronounce any of those names. Jacksonville Christian's top performers were Addie Lee with 36 points. She was also 10 for 12 on the free throw line. Let's take a look at all the matchups for tonight. No games this weekend for basketball, but there are many taking place tonight. Let's start with Walter Welborn. Coach Lumpkin's team, fresh off playing the Bulldogs of Asheville last night, they make the trip to face the Jacksonville Christian. Coach Tommy Miller's team, Travis Barnhill, a former Welborn Panther in middle school, will get to go head-to-head against his old school tonight as Walter Welborn makes the trip to Jacksonville Christian. Donahoe finally playing some teams that are in their classification. They have played a lot of upper classification teams. They make the trip to face a really good Winterboro team. This is a veteran, seasoned Winterboro team, and the Falcons are going to go on the road to Talladega County as they face off against Winterboro. I don't know that anybody's played a tougher schedule than Coach Corey Hughes and Faith Christian, and they are hosting the defending state champions, the Jacksonville Golden Eagles, tonight at Faith Christian. Going to be a packed-out gym for the Lions. What a game. The Jacksonville Golden Eagles on the road at Faith Christian, Coach Corey Hughes' team with another big non-area test. Cleburne County, fresh off that win last night against Rambert in a county matchup, they go to White Plains to face the surging red-hot Wildcats of White Plains. I don't know that there is a hotter team right now than the Wildcats of White Plains. Coach Chris Randall's team is off to an impressive 6-1 start, may even be 7-1, but they've only got one loss. It was the first game of the season to Oxford. Cleburne County is going to make the trip just a little over, not too far, as they head to White Plains. This is just a boys game, no girls, just boys action as the Eagles of Hoax Bluff are on the road tonight facing Coach Ginn and the Sachs Wildcats. Coach Ginn's Wildcats got the win last night and they are now at home against Hoax Bluff. This is boys and girls action. It's the Indians coming over to Alexandria. This is not really a rivalry, but it's become one of some sorts in some sports because these two are connected almost to each other. But Ohatchee comes to Alexandria. Coach Ginn at Alexandria now facing his team, former team that he coached for so long in the Indians. Coach Kyle Wilson gets his first crack at Alexandria as the Ohatchee Indians are at Alexandria. And the final game for basketball tonight, this is just boys, no girls, but Coach Hood's Pleasant Valley Raiders make the trip to Asheville to face the Bulldogs. That is the final game for basketball. Last night was also an action-packed night for our East Alabama wrestling teams who hit the mat. We have all the duel results from last night, and we are also going to preview duels for tonight and the big tournaments taking place this weekend. Let's start at Walter Welborn. Ben Carroll and the Welborn Panthers hosted Cleburne County, Piedmont, and Susan Moore. Cleburne County went 3-0 on the night, beating Welborn 56-16. They beat Piedmont 39-36 in a nail-biter, and they beat Susan Moore 72-12. Piedmont would then go on to beat Welborn 66-14 and beat Susan Moore 75-6, and Ben Carroll's Welborn Panthers got the win over Susan Moore 47-18. The defending 1A, 4A state champions, the Weaver Bearcats, traveled to Cherokee County for a try. Weaver would improve to 5-0 on the season after beating Cherokee County 63-16, and they beat Coosa, Georgia. That's Coosa, Georgia, out of Rome, Georgia. They beat them 54-24. Again, Weaver improves to 5-0 on the season. Rusty Mayfield and the Oxford Yellow Jackets made the trip to McAdory. Oxford went 1-1 on the night, splitting the try as they beat the Hueytown Golden Gophers 72-18, and then they lost to McAdory 51-15. The final team was the Ohatchee Indians. They were on the road at Southside Gadsden. The Indians lost both matches, or both duels in the try, as they fell to Asheville 60-21, and they fell to Southside Gadsden 71-12. Let's look at the action for tonight. The Weaver Bearcats boys and girls are hosting Montevallo and Asheville tonight. The Weaver Bearcats boys will wrestle Montevallo and Asheville. The girls will wrestle just Montevallo, but boy and girl action tonight at Weaver as Coach Fulmer's team looks to stay undefeated in duels. Big tournament tomorrow, the Lamar Frog Wade Memorial. It is a new tournament at Walter Welborn that features 16 teams across Alabama. You can actually watch this tournament live broadcasted on the East Alabama Now Facebook page. It locally features Alexandria, Cleburne County, Rambert, Sachs, Welborn, Weaver, and White Plains, but there are 10 other teams from across the state of Alabama from many different areas. Another tournament is the Lincoln Golden Bear Classic, which always falls on the SEC Championship Saturday. It is no different this year, and it features a couple local teams, including the JV of Alexandria and the varsity of Oxford. And the final tournament is the Alabama School for the Blind Dual Tournament, which is taking place this weekend, and it features two other Calhoun County teams, and Coach Austin Bragg's Piedmont Bulldogs and Coach Jonathan Nick's Pleasant Valley Raiders. That's it for EAN Local Sports. Let's go back over to Mike and Katie.
Thanks for that update, Namath, and thank you for watching us today.
You can find us here online every weekday on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram, and on our website, eastalabamanow.com. Just go to our video feed and watch us whenever it's convenient for you.
Try to stay dry this weekend. We'll see you back here Monday for your news on your schedule.